Audible is the leading provider of spoken word entertainment and audiobooks, ranging from bestsellers to celebrity memoirs, news, business, and self-development. Every month, members get 1 credit to pick any title, plus 2 Audible originals from a monthly selection, and access to daily news digests from the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, and the Washington Post, as well as guided meditation programs. Between a full-time job in IT and a full-time job in podcasting, it gets harder and harder to sit down and read the books I'm interested in. This is where Audible comes in. I can listen on my daily commute, relaxing, or while out running errands and still get in the books I've been wanting to get into. You can download titles and listen offline anytime, anywhere. The app is free and can be installed on all smartphones and tablets. Now you can try Audible risk-free with a special 30-day free trial by visiting audibletrial.com/nerdery and murdery. That's audibletrial.com/nerdery and murdery. Don't let your busy life get in the way of that great book you've been wanting to read. Go get your free trial of Audible today. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp. This is Geoffrey, and we've talked about many times before that I experience problems and struggles with my mental health. And really, without a healthy mind, being truly happy and at peace is hard. The good news is therapy does work. It's helped for me, but what is therapy exactly? It's whatever you want it to be. Maybe you're not feeling motivated right now and would like some tools to help. Or maybe you're feeling insecure in relationships at work, or you're not dealing well with stress. Whatever you need, it's really time to stop being ashamed of normal human struggles, and it's time to start feeling better because you deserve to be happy. And now you don't have to worry about finding an in-person therapist near you to help. BetterHelp is a customized online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can start communicating with your therapist in under 48 hours. So join the millions of people who are seeing what online therapy is really about. It's always a good time to invest in yourself because you are your greatest asset. And there's a special offer to Nerdery and Murdery listeners. You can get 10% off your first month of professional therapy at betterhelp.com/nerdery and murdery. That's betterhelp.com/nerdery and murdery. Thanks again to BetterHelp for sponsoring this podcast. I said, you wish me to be in pain all the time because you're cruel and you're mean. You know what? You know what you are? You're the fucking Grinch. Merry Christmas. All right, welcome to episode 20. Oh my God, where are we at? 29.
29!
This episode comes out right before Christmas, so Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas and the Happy Hanukkah.
What'd you get me for Christmas? Let me have it. Can I have it? Can I have it?
Disrobe.
Dude. I'm so uncomfortable right now. Okay, moving on.
What? It's a new shirt. What?
So uncomfortable at this moment. All right, so we get people that can get to enjoy us through Christmas. We have this episode, and then we have an episode comes out right after Christmas.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Great that we've made it through Halloween. We've made it through Thanksgiving.
Yes.
We've made it to Christmas.
Yes.
Wow. I'm sorry. I know I say this a lot. It's just unbelievable that we're here.
Yeah.
You know,
at this point, 6 months in now. So.
Yeah. Awesome. Phenomenal. So I'm super excited for this. I know that for you're focusing around Christmas theme. I'm sorry I don't have a murder around Christmas theme. It's kind of hard to find those, but excited for you to get started. So I'll let you get on to the nerdery side of the. Before we do that,
I'm Zig with your nerdery.
And I'm Geoffrey with your murdery. Now go into your nerdery.
Okay, so much like the Halloween episode, Geoffrey and I kind of pulled our favorite holiday movies, which we kind of like to watch around the holidays. Again, at my house, we do Christmas and Hanukkah, so my first one is a Hanukkah movie. Probably the only Hanukkah movie. It is Adam Sandler's 8 Crazy Nights.
Never seen it.
We watch it every year.
Is that the cartoon?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is animated. Sandler does most of the voices. It's a 2002 American animated musical holiday comedy drama filmed by Seth Kearsley, produced, co-written by, and starring Adam Sandler in his first voice acting role. The film is animated in the style of television holiday specials. Think sort of some of the specials we had back in the 80s and the 90s.
Sure, I've seen clips. I've seen clips of it. You're talking about Rankin Bass stuff.
Yeah, a little bit. Unlike most mainstream holiday films, it does surround Jewish characters during the Hanukkah season. So it is about Hanukkah as in 8 Crazy Nights. It is the story of growing up in a town that's multicultural, where they, there are a few Jewish kids and they celebrate Hanukkah. And it's about how this one character, lost his parents, right around Hanukkah when he was like 12 years old. And it made him a mean person. I want to say it's almost like Charles Dickens' Christmas Story.
Christmas Carol.
Christmas Carol, yeah. It's basically Hanukkah Christmas Carol.
Okay.
So it's how he regains his humanity at an abandoned or a closed down mall. A lot of really great stuff. There's some bits about deer eating poop. Yes, deer eating poop, and they talk. So that's kind of fun.
I know now why this is not one I've watched. Adam Sandler is one of those to me that has a lot of hit and miss. I mean, he's got stuff that's really good, and then he's got stuff that I just can't do it. His antics bother me too much sometimes.
Too much antics?
It's a little too over the top for me.
There's a lot of really serious stuff in this one. It's dealt with humorously, but I mean, this one is actually pretty good. You should give it a check out. The bit with the deer is just, you get it for like 30 seconds and then you get it a few minutes later for 30 seconds and it's done.
Okay.
But it is really, really funny. It's about, and also the secondary character, Whitey, this little old guy who basically has given his life over to service to his community. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's really heartwarming and goofy at the same time.
And I don't mind goofy at all. Sometimes it's over the top. Waterboy is one of those.
Yeah.
It's way too over the top.
You didn't want to, yeah, I kind of liked Waterboy, but like Little Nicky was too much for me. Even though
Little Nicky was way too much for me.
Yeah, I like the premise, and some of the stuff is really funny.
But you get things like 50 First Dates. Love that movie.
Yeah.
I think he's great in that. I think he's got several that he's really, really, really good in, and some it's just it's too
The
much.
Wedding Singer is one of my favorites.
Wedding Singer is great.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, and this has kind of that Wedding Singer tone because they keep harking back to the late 80s, which is when his parents passed away.
Right.
And when he goes to the mall, he talks to the things in the mall that were there in the 80s, like the Foot Locker guy. Mm-hmm. It's kind of cool. You really give her a check. I think she's only like an hour and a half. So The second movie on my list is the movie that I think of as the holidays, as Christmas, because it is not Christmas until Hans Gruber falls off the Nakatomi
Plaza. Die Hard.
Die Hard. And there are people who will argue with me to this day. This is not a Christmas movie.
Oh, there are people that argue all over the place that it's not a Christmas movie, but it 100% is a Christmas movie.
Oh yeah.
I don't. It is not Christmas for me anymore. If I can't watch it, I watched it. I remember Chelsea was out with her mom and another friend of ours, Maria, doing some house tours.
Yeah.
On before Christmas, and I was like, Die Hard's on. There we go.
There you go. It's Christmas.
Yes. I love Die Hard. Die Hard is one of my favorites. It's I said it in the hardcore action flick episode. That's what I think when I think of action flick. But I've watched it time and time and time again, and I think it holds up.
Oh yeah,
very well, and it's great.
Yeah.
I love Die Hard.
Yeah. Well, I know this was on your list too.
100%, it's on my list.
Yes, this is the one that overlaps for us because I did 5 and you did 5, and there's only one overlap. So it's an American action film directed by John McTiernan and written by Jeb Stewart and Stephen E. D'Souza. It's based on the 1979 novel Nothing Lasts Forever by Roderick Thorpe. Now, the thing is, this was in development hell from the early 80s until Die Hard was made. Yeah, like 7, 8, 9 years.
Yeah.
And they finally got it made, and the idea was, hey, why don't we center this around Christmas time? Because I don't think that's in the book. Some of the helicopter scenes are in the book. That's why they included them. But a lot of the things are not actually in the book. They are in the movie. But it's a thriller book.
Sure. Well, in the movie itself is once you get John McClane into Nakatomi Plaza, it is just nonstop. It does not let up for near a second for the rest of the movie.
Alexander Godunov is the older blonde-haired German brother. The reason they cast him is because he's a ballet dancer. That's why they wanted to get him with working with the chains and things like that, because that dude really knew how to move.
Oh wow!
Yeah, as well as Al Leong, who for years our friend Don looked just like.
Oh yeah, I think that every time I see it too.
Al Leong, and so yeah, I mean, it stars Bruce Willis, Alan Rickman, Bonnie Bedelia.
I'm sorry. Also, along with Al Leong is the guy who sits at the front desk who looks like Huey Lewis and is not Huey Lewis.
It's not Huey Lewis. The guy that looks like Huey Lewis, who is not Huey Lewis, always plays a heavy.
Yes.
Usually a bad guy. So basically, for those who are uninitiated, and I don't know who could be, it follows the New York City police detective John McClane, who is caught up in a terrorist takeover of a Los Angeles skyscraper while visiting his estranged wife. Reginald Vell Johnson plays up the policeman who is on the ground kind of helping him out.
Which got him his role in Family Matters.
Yeah, playing Carl.
Right.
Carl the cop.
Right.
William Atherton also plays this sleazy reporter, and I love him.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
He's also Templeton Peck in Ghostbusters. Great. Okay, so this guy always plays such an a-hole. William Atherton is so not.
Is he?
He's so sweet, but his voice is so condescending. He's not a condescending person, at least in all the interviews I've heard.
I guess he's just been pigeonholed into that type of role.
Because his voice sounds like he's condescending, and he's tall, he's redheaded, and he looks uppity. He's not. He's a real sweetheart. Paul Gleason and Hart Bacher are also featured in supporting roles. So the thing about this movie is it does take place over Christmas. That's why people think of it as a Christmas movie. It centers around a Christmas party that gets broken up by a bunch of what we think of as terrorists, but they're not actually terrorists. They're there to steal some bearer bonds. And it's kind of a theme in a lot of these action movies, like Lethal Weapon, which I also think of as a Christmas movie.
It is a Christmas movie.
Because it opens with Jingle Bell Rock. And, when they drive through the house, it's during Christmas time.
Right.
Everybody's trying to get off for Christmas. The cops are singing Christmas songs in the precinct. But yeah, it's the idea of these guys are, portrayed as terrorists, but actually they're just trying to steal money because they're dirty, dirty thieves.
Well, and the one person you forgot to name is Alan Rickman.
Did I not say Alan Rickman? What?
I mean, unless I missed it, the late great Alan Rickman.
Oh yeah, he's exceptional. And you listen to him in this movie and you think, oh, okay, so this guy's like a German. This is Jürgen Prochnow. No, Alan Rickman is not. Alan Rickman sounds like he's from South London, but he does. He's actually so great. You actually think, oh, dude, this guy's a weird Euro trash kind of guy.
Phenomenal character actor that we lost. So
love Alan Rickman.
Absolutely.
And he plays such a great bad guy.
Yeah.
Again, total sweetheart.
I've always heard that. I've never heard anything but good things about Rickman, that people just really liked him.
Yeah. And funny. He's a very, very funny man. Mm-hmm. And you kind of see it in Die Hard. There's some humor stuff when he's playing the American. Oh, God, don't shoot me.
I think that's such a brilliant scene, too.
Yeah. And nobody knew he could do that until he did it.
Right.
From what I understand, that was a bit that he was like, you know what? I got this. Let me try this. And the bit where he falls off the building, I have seen a making of that, and I believe it's the movies that made us. Die Hard's one of them. Alan Rickman was afraid of heights. Mm-hmm. So they basically.
Oh, I know how this is done.
Yeah, they basically took a pillow, not a pillow, an airbag. Mm-hmm. They put an airbag below him about 20 feet off of this set, right? And it was a green airbag, and they basically green screened everything on the airbag itself. So that's why it cuts away right before he hits, because when he hits, the background kind of crinkles because it's the airbag that's actually what's being projected on the green screen. And they had rehearsed it as 1, 2, 3, go. When they dropped him on 1.
Old Hitchcock.
Yeah, to get his reaction.
Right.
And it scared him.
Right. It's old Hitchcock tactic.
Yeah. But he's such a great actor that he knew that's what they were doing as soon as they let go. But he was, he knew he needed to keep that reaction on his face. That's why it's so realistic when he drops. And of course they didn't shoot it in slow-mo, but they slowed it down as they filmed it. Oh my God, it's so brilliant. Mm-hmm. And it's like, it's the holiday, because Chloe and I will watch it. And as soon as that happens, she's like, it's the holidays!
It can now be Christmas. Yes. Yeah.
I saw someone had made it like an advent calendar where it's Hans Gruber slowly falling off the Nakatomi Plaza. Funny. And the advents are the windows of the Nakatomi Plaza.
That's funny.
Yep. So that's Die Hard. The next one on my list is Elf. Elf is a 2003 American Christmas comedy film directed by Jon Favreau. Stars Will Ferrell, James Caan, Zooey Deschanel, Mary Steenburgen, Daniel Tay, and Bob Newhart and Ed Asner. The film centers on Buddy, a human who was adopted and raised by Santa's elves. He learns about and heads to New York City to meet his biological father while also spreading Christmas cheer in a world of cynics in the process. Now, the opening of this movie, where he's in basically Elf Christmas Land, the North Pole, is very Rankin and Bass. That's what I love most about this movie. The opening is a Rankin and Bass Christmas story, all over the place, where he's venturing out of the North Pole, and the false perspective things they do with him basically sitting in Bob Newhart's lap and being raised as a child. That trips me out. And then the scene where he's in the revolving door and he runs around and goes outside and throws up and goes, and then jumps right back in and goes in the revolving door and goes around. It's a great scene.
I love Will Ferrell.
Mm-hmm.
I think Will Ferrell is a comedic genius. His stuff on
comedy
Saturday.
Of boredom, which is what I love.
Well, his stuff on Saturday Night Live, his being the various impersonations he does of people. You and my sister both love this movie, and I think I'm in the minority when I say this. I fucking hate this movie.
Why? It's Jon Favreau.
I fucking hate this movie. There is not a thing about it I like.
Not even the opening bit?
No. That movie annoys me to no end. I saw it in the movie theater, and I regretted every dime of it.
I am so sorry. I did not know that. I figured this would be right.
Why do you have to be sorry? It's your list. And
well,
and it just made me snicker inside as soon as you mentioned Elf, because I immediately inside go, can't stand. It's probably one of the only things of Will Ferrell that I just absolutely hate.
Really?
Yep, I hate this
that
movie.
Shocks me, because you love everybody in this movie and everything about this movie. You love Zooey Deschanel, Ed Asner, Bob Newhart.
I know.
Yeah.
I just cannot stand this movie.
Wow.
I know, and that's why I said I am probably in the minority of people on this one, because I know for a lot of people that this is a Christmas movie for them.
Yeah.
It's a great Christmas movie. I would rather somebody saw my ears off than watch this movie.
Wow. Okay.
So there you go.
No love for Buddy the Elf.
Right. So there you go. That's my opinion of Elf.
Okay. My next one on the list is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Not the animated, but the original 1964 Christmas stop-motion animated television special produced by Videocraft International, later known as Rankin Bass Productions. Currently distributed by NBC Universal Syndicate Studios. Now, last year, it was hard to find this. I understand that they were going through some rights issues. It should be on Paramount this year.
They don't show it on network TV anymore?
No. Huh. I know they were showing some of these things on network TV up until just a couple of years ago. But so many people had the rights to this to show it for a long time that they've got everything worked out. But it was last year where they were having trouble with this.
I love Rudolph.
Yeah. Rudolph is my favorite one. No, they showed the Island of Misfit Toys and Rudolph Saves the New Year.
Right.
All of that stuff was available, but this one was a little difficult.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I love Rudolph.
Just last year, not the year before. It was fine.
Right. That is a classic. Classic. I mean, that's another one. It's not holiday without Rudolph and Frosty. And,
Yeah. Frosty the Snowman, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Here Comes Santa Claus, all that.
The Grinch.
Yeah. The Grinch.
That. Yeah.
So it was sponsored by General Electric under the umbrella title of the General Electric Fantasy Hour. The special was based on the Johnny Marks song, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, which itself was based on a poem of the same name written by Marks in 1939. Mark's brother-in-law in 1939, Robert May. Since 1972, the special has aired on CBS. The network unveiled a high-definition digitally remastered version of the program in 2005. And again, it was fine up until last year. It was hard to get last year. But this year it's supposed to be available through Paramount. I think they're going to show it on CBS, and they may even show it on PBS too. Because I know PBS had a deal with the Charlie Brown Christmas special last year and this year as well. So if you've got Paramount, you should be able to hit it either way.
Cool.
And it may be that CBS was just launching last year about this time. That may have been part of the problem. My last movie in my list is actually not a movie at all. It's 3 episodes of Community.
Okay.
Community, for the uninitiated, is a series that Dan Harmon did that aired on NBC, and the last season aired on NBC or Yahoo Screen, which doesn't exist anymore. But you can pick them all up on Hulu now. Community is about a group of people who form a Spanish study group in a community college in Greendale, Colorado. It's a bunch of antics, the series. I love it. I think it's some of the funniest stuff that's been on television. I have seen Community episodes dozens of times. They did 3 Christmas episodes, the first, second, and third seasons, which all hit for the mark. The first one is comparative religions. So each one of the episodes of Community is titled like a college course.
Right.
This one is called Comparative Religions, where Shirley, played by Yvette Nicole Brown, one of the study group, plans a Christmas party for the study group, hoping to celebrate her Christian ways, but learns everyone else is from a different religion. Annie's Jewish. Abed is a Muslim, but he loves Christmas because his mom was Polish. Troy is a Jehovah's Witness. That's Donald Glover. Britta is an atheist, played by Gillian Jacobs. Pierce was played by Chevy Chase, is in an odd cult, but believes that he is Buddhist. While Joel McHale, is an agnostic. Meanwhile, Jeff stands up to a bully named Mike, played by Anthony Michael Hall. If you haven't seen this episode, Anthony Michael Hall in a porn stash is worth the price of admission. He plays this beefy guy who keeps saying snickerdoodles. You stole all the snickerdoodles.
I've never seen a single episode of Community.
Oh, you need to watch these 3 Christmas episodes. If nothing else, first season, go to the Christmas episode. All the links are on there. Second season,
Are they?
Yeah.
Are they on the website?
Yes, they're all on the website.
All
Yeah.
right.
So yeah, hit the website. Yeah.
The links that I put out there?
Yes.
So, okay,
Yes.
great.
Oh, that's right.
Great.
Sorry.
Who the hell do you think puts the shit out there?
Oh, yeah. Well, I go out and get them, and I put them in a folder, and I think they just magically appear on the
There you
site.
go. Okay.
It's mad. It's illusion. But yeah, so they come to the defense of Abed, and they basically organize a fight around Christmas time. And Shirley's like, if you guys go to that fight, we can't be friends anymore. So they secretly plan on how to go to a fight because apparently Jeff Winger has never been in a fight before. So they basically all get involved in the fight by the end of the episode, and they're singing a holiday song about, cleaning up their wounds from the fight. At the very end, it's really, really funny. The next episode is Abed's Uncontrollable Christmas. This episode is about mental instability. So
Okay.
basically, Abed wakes up one morning and everybody around him is claymation. In this episode, you see it from Abed's perspective. It is a claymation episode. Mm-hmm. Now, later on, when they talk in like the third or fourth season, they talk about, hey, what? You guys aren't crazy. Yeah, they're crazy. Don't you remember the thing with Abed? And it actually shows a couple of the scenes from everybody else's perspective where they're sitting around the table in the study room. But in Abed's mind, they're going through this Rankin and Bass forest. Mm-hmm. And each one of them is a different toy. The episode is all stop motion animation, just like the Rankin and Bass. And it looks it. I would say, as far as a stop motion episode goes, I think it's better than what they did at the opening of Elf. You definitely want to see Abed's Uncontrollable. This is the first episode of Community I ever saw.
So you're telling me it's better than the movie I hate?
Yes.
Great.
There you go.
Great.
And it's only 30 minutes. So
Okay,
there you
great.
go. And the last one is Regional Holiday Music. It's the 10th episode and mid-season finale of the third season of Community. It's the 59th episode overall. And it was originally broadcast in 2011 on NBC. And the show went on hiatus. It is a Christmas-themed episode in which everybody gets recruited to join the Glee Club for the Christmas show in an Invasion of the Body Snatchers style. At one point, the scene in the 70s version of Invasion of the Body Snatchers where the one girl walks up to Donald Sutherland and goes, I think they don't know who I am. And Donald Sutherland turns around and goes, ah. They replay that scene, only they're singing a Christmas song when they do it. But yeah, apparently the head of the Glee Club recruits everybody and messes with their brain to make them join the Glee Club. And at the very end, they get Britta to sing From Her Heart, which breaks the spell because Britta's terrible.
Yeah, now sell me on this episode.
Oh my God. It's really funny.
I know people love Community. I just...
Okay, there is a scene where Allison Brie does a sexy Mrs. Santa Claus sing called Santa Baby. That's, oh my God, it's over the top and brilliant. But the whole time she's doing it to Joel McHale, he's cracking jokes about it.
Yeah, I know the name.
Yeah, she also did. She was in Glow.
Yeah, I
she
know
also
her.
did.
I didn't watch Glow.
Mad Men. She was on Mad Men as well. She was actually doing Community and Mad Men at the same time.
Yeah. I know who else
That
it
one's
is.
pretty funny. They do. Danny Pudi and Donald Glover do a rap about being a Jehovah's Witness agent to bring down Christmas, pretending you like Christmas. It's really, really funny as well. But yeah, some of the musical numbers, and they make fun of the series Glee quite a bit in this episode as well. But the Invasion of the Body Snatchers bit is particularly humorous. But yeah, so if you get a chance, if for nothing else, if you've never seen any of the Community episodes, I would say hit the holiday episodes and hit the paintball episode, the 2-part paintball episode in the first season. It is hysterical. And the scene from The Killer with Chow Yun-fat coming. Yeah. Ken Jeong doing that with them. Yeah. Oh my God. It's brilliant. It's so funny. So yeah, that's it for my list.
Okay.
On Geoffrey's list, we have Die Hard.
Okay, so we've talked about that. Okay. Absolutely.
And Geoffrey's next list is Scrooged.
Yes. How is Scrooge not on somebody's movie list? I mean, it's number one. It's Bill Murray.
Yeah,
brilliantly.
Oh my God, Bill Murray's great in this. Karen Allen too.
Right.
We gotta give it up for Karen Allen. She's great in this.
Brilliantly doing A Christmas Carol.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, oh yeah, Carol Allen. Okay.
Karen Allen.
Okay. Yeah. No. The first ghost.
Oh, that's
Carol Kane.
Yeah, Carol Kane.
Yeah, Carol Kane.
I was talking about Karen Allen, who is his love interest.
Yes. Scrooge is the retelling of A Christmas Carol, where Bill Murray is a television producer, and he pretty much wants to not do their annual holiday episode, and he's throwing wrenches in the works, and he's making it just crap, and he's a curmudgeon, and
the dancers, he keeps getting their costumes lower and lower, and they're like, we can't do that. You can see the top of her nipple. We can't get these antlers on the mice. Have you tried Staples?
And so he gets visited by three ghosts who, the Christmas Carol fashion, take him through his past, his present, and his future in order to convince him, that he needs to let this holiday special go on his plan.
Carol Kane, David Johansen, and the great William Forsythe as the Marley character.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
I love William Forsythe.
This movie is it's funny. It's brilliant. Carol Kane is so funny. The way she just abuses him.
Oh my God. As a fairy.
Yes, as a fairy.
Lilty Carol.
Oh my God. Scrooge should be on everybody's list. That is an all-time favorite of mine.
Well, I do have some notes about it. It was filmed on a $32 million budget over 3 months in Hollywood. It's the first thing Bill Murray had done in like 3 or 4 years. Like he took a break from acting to kind of enjoy his life. And this is what he came back with, which I will agree. This is an amazing movie.
Yeah.
Bobcat Goldthwait is incredible in this movie.
Yes.
God, everybody in it was good.
I know.
Including Bill Murray's two brothers, Brian Doyle and oh my God, I can't remember the brother's name.
Brian Doyle and the other one's a Murray.
Yeah. I think they kind of helped write it too.
Shoot. I can't remember.
Joel Murray.
Thank you.
Superbly creative, but occasionally difficult dealing with some of the Murray brothers, because when those guys work together, they can finish each other's sentences. I mean, they grew up in a household with 12 people.
Yeah.
But when they work together, they work together.
Yeah.
And it's not that they're necessarily difficult, but they have a shorthand language between them that other people just don't get.
Sure.
Because they don't have to finish a sentence. Hey, it's the bit with a thing, and they know what they're talking about.
Right.
So, and they say that's difficult, but it's brilliant. And all of those Murray boys are hysterical.
Oh, I know.
So funny. God, I want to say Brian Doyle Murray never, ever, ever gets the due that I think he should.
Oh, absolutely not. He's always the second fiddle character.
Yeah.
He's the secondary guy.
But 9 times out of 10, most of the bits that were written by him.
Sure. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Be it some bits from Caddyshack, this. God, he's just brilliant. Oh, and Brian Doyle plays Bill's father.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
In this. And just, telling him, hey, this is meat. This is the best Christmas present you could get.
Right.
It was nominated for Academy Award for Best Makeup, but lost out to Beetlejuice. And I think mostly for the John Forsythe bit where they had the mouse push the golf ball at the back of his head. Mm-hmm. That was so brilliant. The next one on your list is Iron Man 3.
My sister Shelley and I had a huge argument over this one.
Love you, Shelley.
We were just going back and forth, and it was, she's like, that is not a Christmas movie. And I said, it is absolutely a Christmas movie. It takes place during Christmas. There's several things about Christmas. It absolutely is a Christmas movie. And she said, that is not a Christmas movie. And then my niece Sydney walked in the room and said, oh, Iron Man 3? Yeah, that's a Christmas movie.
Thank you, Sydney. I agree. This is a Christmas movie.
So Iron Man 3 is one of my favorites. I know that in the Iron Man trilogy, Iron Man 3 is sometimes considered the weakest. But I like it. I really enjoy how everything was done in it. I love what they did with Tony and really kind of Iron Man 3 was really kind of Tony growing up a little bit more and learning how to deal with people a little more, because he had to spend a lot of the movie as not Iron Man.
Yeah.
And be Tony Stark.
Yeah.
So that it's one of my favorites. I love Iron Man 3. There are things about it I don't like. I don't like how they did the Mandarin. I thought that could have been very different. I think they are changing that and kind of retconning that and gonna redo it. But Iron Man 3 takes place during Christmas. It is a Christmas movie to me. So there, Shelley, I win. Blah.
And it's on air. We recorded it. So it was a 2013 superhero film based on the Marvel Comics movie. And yeah, you know what? I agree with you. I think Iron Man 3 is definitely a Christmas movie. The stuff with the kid.
Right.
That's a Christmas tale all by itself.
Absolutely.
That is a holiday tale.
Absolutely.
And it's just, oh God, it's brilliant. And okay, I know he gets props all the time. Ben Kingsley as the Mandarin, scary as the Mandarin, and then when you find out he's just an actor and this dirty old
Travis
hippie.
Slattery.
Yeah. Oh my God, he's so great as that.
Have you watched the vignette on Disney Plus, the Mandarin?
Is it that played quite a while ago, right? At the beginning of something else, or at the end of something else?
They played a small portion of it. This is an extended minuet.
Ooh.
You need to see that.
Yeah, I may go home and watch that when I get home.
Yeah, it's only 10, 15 minutes, maybe 20. I don't think it's even 20 minutes. But it goes farther than what you've seen so far.
Okay.
So yeah, give that a watch.
And our next film on this list is Christmas with the Cranks.
You're welcome, Shelley. So, it's a super cute movie. Christmas with the Cranks is Tim Allen and Jamie Lee Curtis. It's a touching story. It really is. And it's about a family who they have always historically been the Christmas family.
The Christmas people.
Yes, they're the Christmas people. They have all the decorations. They do the yearly party. And their daughter is not going to be home for Christmas. So they decide to just not do Christmas that year and go off on a cruise.
Yeah, they're going to go off on a cruise. They go and get tans.
Yes. And just the hijinks that ensue as they try to get out of town, the situations they get into. Dan Aykroyd as Dan Aykroyd in this, who is hysterical. As everybody tries to convince him, hey, you've got to have Christmas. It's not Christmas without the Cranks. And it's a very cute story. It's pretty funny. And it's got a really good holiday message with it. So it checks all the boxes on Christmas movies. So, it is Shelley's favorite. I agree with her. It's a great movie.
Yeah.
So it's in my list as well.
Right on. Well, I will say this. The film is based on a 2001 novel, Skipping Christmas, by John Grisham. Did not know that until I started researching
didn't know that either.
Yeah. So it was directed by Joe Roth, and of course it had Tim Allen, Jamie Lee Curtis, Dan Aykroyd, Eric Pursullivan, Cheech Marin, Jake Busey, Emmett Walsh, and Tom Poston, and this was his last film. Yeah, but I love Tom Poston as the handyman in Newhart.
Yes.
Yeah, so no, I agree with you. I think this is a great one. I didn't even think about this one for my list because it's just one of those things. It's like I didn't think I would like it because sometimes with me, Jamie Lee Curtis is never hit or miss. She's great in everything
Tim Allen can be hit or miss.
Yes, Tim Allen can be. There are a couple of Tim Allen movies that I think are incredible. One that never gets enough play is called Zoom, about an ex-superhero.
I don't remember that one.
Oh my God, he was like a Flash character. Huh. Yeah, it's called Zoom. You should check it out. It's pretty good. But he's basically training a new young group of superheroes. And the next film on your list, Bad Santa.
I know that one's going to be very controversial with people. It's
not with me, sir. I agree. This is a great Christmas movie.
It is. It's a great Christmas movie. So it's got
the bloody elephant at the end.
Oh, I know. It's throughout the whole movie, it's got terrible messages. He is a terrible person. Billy Bob Thornton is so great in this role.
Oh my God.
He is a terrible person. His partner is a terrible person.
Love that guy.
They're all just awful. But Billy Bob Thornton, because of
Tony Cox is his partner.
Tony Cox.
Yeah.
Because of just the situations he gets into and whatnot, Billy Bob Thornton ends up with this little kid whose parents are gone. And
Thurman Merman.
And lives with his grandmother, who is senile and everything. And Billy Bob Thornton ends up moving in with his kid. And even as terrible, it's just awful terrible he is to this kid, he really ends up teaching this kid stuff. He ends up making the kid really a better person.
Yeah.
In all of his...
And vice versa. The kid makes him a better person,
The kid makes him a better person as well. It honestly ends up with a very good story and a very good moral.
Yeah.
It's very funny. It's hysterical. I believe it's John Ritter's last film.
It is John Ritter's last live-action film.
I love his character in it. But yeah, there's a lot of people that are just going to be very cringy when it comes to Bad Santa as a great Christmas movie. But honestly, it's got a really good message behind it at the end. And I love Bad Santa.
And it's also very, very funny.
Oh, yes, extremely.
The Coen brothers are credited as executive producers on this. I think they may have had a hand in some of it. It was directed by Terry Zwigoff. Written by Glenn Ficarra and John Requa, but I think the Coen brothers had a little bit of hand in writing. It has that feel in some of the scenes. Billy Bob Thornton, of course, Tony Cox, Laura Graham, Brett Kelly, Lauren Tom, John Ritter, and Bernie Mac is
Bernie Mac is great. He's brilliant in this. Yes.
Oh my God, he is so good. And let's not forget Cloris Leachman.
Right.
I'll make some sandwiches.
As the grandma.
We don't need any sandwiches. But yeah, John Ritter as the mealy mouth manager of this shopping mall is just, oh my God, he inhabited this role.
Oh, I know.
Oh, I loved him in this.
And I love the interactions between him and Bernie Mac. It's just just to watch him as Bernie Mac talks and John Ritter just cringes at things he says. It's so damn funny. Oh my God, it's definitely one of my favorite holidays.
Yeah, and okay, so I understand polite society and everything, but
polite society ain't gonna like this movie
no,
the least little bit.
Well, and okay, so Billy Bob Thornton is so Southern the way he speaks. We understand that there's a way that us Southerners talk to each other that we don't talk to other people in public,
right?
In a certain way. You ain't gonna shit right for a month is my favorite line in the whole movie.
Yes, because he completely has zero filter whatsoever in this movie.
No.
And that's one of the things that's just so funny about it. He just says whatever the hell he feels. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And Thurman Merman, that kid actor was brilliant.
What do you want for Christmas? A snot rag? What do you want for Christmas, son? Fraggle stick car? The hell is that?
Give this one a watch. Please, out there, give this one a watch. You've got to watch it.
Don't watch it with your little kids. But your teenagers are going to think it's hysterical.
Yeah. It's so yeah. That's that's the end of my list. Except I do have an honorable mention.
What would your honorable mention be, sir? My
honorable mention for Star Wars movie is actually 3 movies. And it's Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi.
Okay.
We have a tradition around our house that after we open the presents, while Chelsea's making breakfast, we turn Star Wars on and we will watch Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi all day long.
That sounds wonderful.
Until we have to go to Christmas dinner later. And I mean, that is a tradition in this household. It is not Christmas Day until we boot Star Wars up onto the TV.
Right on. That sounds wonderful.
So that is my honorable mention for Christmas movies because that's a tradition around our house.
Well, I have an honorable mention. Well, it's kind of a Star Wars tie-in. I think you should watch the Star Wars Holiday Special as well.
again, I don't have a problem with this. So,
But yeah, I think that's it for the nerdery today. We
Great.
just kind of talk about some holiday movies. So again, you should check out Community. It's really, really funny. If you haven't seen it.
I'll throw it on my list that just keeps getting deeper and deeper and
Expanding
deeper.
list, yeah.
Okay, so I don't have a Christmas murdery story, but we'll get over to the murdery side of the house.
Murder.
For this, I got my information off The Harbinger, The Mirror, CBS Miami, Florida Times Union, Local 10 News Florida, 850 WFTL News Talk, All That's Interesting, and That Chapter. For this, we're going to be talking about the case of the Cannibal, Werewolf, Centaur, Immortal rapper.
I'm sorry, could you go back?
Sure. This will, All That's Interesting.
No. I got that bit. It's the bit after that.
This is the case of the Cannibal, Werewolf, Centaur, Immortal rapper.
That sounds like it was written by an 8-year-old.
So for this, we're going to start off with John Stevens III and his wife, Michelle Michonne.
Okay, is that the werewolf, the centaur, or the immortal rapper?
Neither.
Okay.
Our Cannibal, Werewolf, Centaur, Immortal rapper has
Thank
not
you.
made his appearance yet.
Okay.
So John Stevens and his wife, Michelle, they lived a peaceful life on Kokomo Lane in Jupiter, Florida. I'm sorry, I couldn't help but hear Kokomo in my head every time I saw this. John and Michelle had been married for 19 years. They loved driving around the neighborhood in their golf cart with their dog, Rebel, running alongside. Michelle had worked in the financial industry, and John had owned a landscape company. And in 2016, they both retired. They were just kind of living the happy life.
Yeah.
They enjoyed sitting out in the garage in the evenings, and they had it decked out so they could lounge out there with the garage door open, have a few beers, watch TV. And they spent most of the time out there relaxing or entertaining friends.
Right on.
On one such peaceful night on August 15th, they were in the garage as usual when a young man entered the garage and began attacking the couple.
What?
It was about 9:15, and a neighbor named Jeff Fisher, hi Glenn, heard sorry, that's a little inside joke. That's a little inside joke. I'm sorry. It's about 9:15. A neighbor named Jeff Fisher heard a woman screaming. Jeff ran across the street to the Stevens garage where he saw Michelle and John had been attacked by a young man. Michelle was motionless on the ground in a pool of blood, and there was a young man hitting John who saw Jeff. And the young man turned to Jeff and said, you don't want this, you don't want any part of this. Jeff himself would be attacked before he ran out to call 911. He ran through the back of the house. And once he got on the phone with 911, he realized that he was bleeding very, very badly. His wounds were actually nearly fatal.
Oh, wow.
The police did arrive, and they saw the young man on top of John with his legs wrapped around him. And then they saw something even more horrifying. The young man was eating John. He was eating his chest, his cheek, and then spitting out the flesh. The police pulled out their guns, but this did nothing to stop the young man. They tasered him, no effect. They tried to grab the young man to handcuff him, and he overpowered the police. Excuse me.
He overpowered the police?
He did. He fought them off and then went back to eating John.
Is this PCP related?
No.
Okay.
And it's a great question because I would have thought exactly. I know a story just like that, and no.
Okay.
The police did unleash their police dog, but the young man fought off the dog as well, continuing to eat John the entire time. So the police did the only thing they could. They start kicking him in the head.
Okay.
And eventually they got one hand in handcuffs and dragged him off of John. The young man then said to the police, fucking kill me, shoot me, I deserve to die. The police did not shoot the young man at this point because they thought John was still alive and didn't want to shoot him too.
Right on.
But they could hear John was still crying out as he was lying there dying.
Yeah.
They finally got the young man back in the car, or into the back of a squad car. It took 4 officers combined to remove the young man from John and get him in the police car. He had no criminal history. He was 19 years old, and his name was Austin Harrouff.
How big is this kid?
He didn't look overly big. I don't have that.
Okay.
To be honest.
But he's not 7 foot tall, 300 pounds, pure muscle.
No, this looks...
And he's not jacked at all.
No.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. No, that's not true. He's very fit.
Okay.
I wouldn't say he is jacked. He's very fit. And we talk about this. He's very much into physical fitness.
Okay. Yeah, but physically fit and being able to fight off a police dog and 4 cops and be tasered and it does nothing to you. You got to be a pretty healthy dude to, okay, I'm with you.
And he was very healthy. I mean, he was that. But I mean, no, he was not a big guy. He might have been a little beefy, but no, I wouldn't say just cut and jacked for sure.
And no PCP in his system.
No.
Okay.
No.
I'm with you.
So let's get into Austin. Austin Harrouff was born in December of 1996 in Palm Beach, Florida. He had one sister, Haley, his father, Wade, who was a dentist, and his mother, Mina. His parents actually divorced when Austin was 13, and his sister went to live with his mother, and Austin stayed with his father. Austin grew up seemingly normal. He'd never been in trouble with the law.
Dad's a dentist, probably pretty well off. Okay.
He was in wrestling, football, and was a decent student. He said he was going to study pre-med in college. And he did end up studying biology at Florida State University, where he also pledged the Alpha Delta Phi fraternity. Phi, thank you. Alpha Delta Phi fraternity. He was described by his friends as happy, a playful goof, and a goof and a bit of a prankster, but just overall a normal guy.
Okay.
He did spend his years in college partying, studying, wrestling. I saw several videos of him talking to the camera, and honestly, my overall impression is that this kid was kind of a douchebag.
Okay,
I would be honest. Yeah, the videos he'd take of himself, he was very full of himself, extremely full of himself.
Total bro.
Yes. Matter of fact, in one video, he was talking about personal fitness, and he said, quote, "I'm not a scientist, bro, but I know how stuff works. I mean, you can call me God if you want to, the God of fitness." That's what this kid was. Yeah, that was this kid. Austin did start drinking at 17.
Okay.
And he would become blackout drunk.
Oh,
so
okay.
Heavy drinker. He said he felt additional pressure to drink from his frat brothers. He did eventually stop drinking because he wanted a fit body, but he turned to other illicit substances such as mushrooms, Adderall, Molly, LSD, and marijuana.
Okay.
Nice little cocktail of drugs there.
Yeah, but that's not like bath salts or PCP.
No. Mm-mm. He would also, however, have lots of depression episodes. So, kind of, mental state there. In 2016, he was home from school and began using drugs even more frequently while on his path to become a rapper.
Okay.
He was convinced he was going to go straight to the top of the rap world using the name Austy Frost or just Frosty.
Frosty.
I told you, this douchebag.
Frosty.
I'm telling you, the self videos I saw were really starting to get on my nerves.
Frosty.
I watched a documentary on this, and this kid was driving me crazy. Austy Frosty. Frosty. Idiot. I'm sorry. You're an idiot. He's a douchebag. But then at this point, he started to get more serious and stopped being the goofball he had been before. And he actually started to become very passionate about civil rights.
Okay.
He would act as a mediator for Black Lives Matter. And he was working at his dad's practice during this and would discuss this with patients. Austin viewed them as a captive audience. Yeah. So he's kind of going all over the place on his mental state.
This kind of sounds like schizophrenia.
Maybe.
Well, I know schizophrenia usually presents itself in your late teens or early 20s. Like, you'll be totally fine up until a point, and then it just... I only know that because of my great aunt. Mm-hmm. So...
Mm-hmm. In August of 2016, he was spending the weekend at his girlfriend Katie's house when he woke up the first morning he was there and said he saw monsters.
Oh, yeah.
This was not the first time he had claimed to see something, however. He sometimes had sleep paralysis, which caused hallucinations.
Yeah.
Once in college, he thought he saw demons, but he wasn't sure if he was asleep or not.
Okay.
This started him on a path studying religion and philosophy, and he saw himself, get ready for this, he saw himself as the next Gandhi, Martin Luther King, famous rapper, Jesus.
Okay.
He began to believe he could manipulate water and that he had superpowers.
Okay.
He also began seeing more demons and said he could hear God's voice. Austin later said he felt Jesus-like and that he had special abilities.
Wow.
He had become afraid of the dark and was convinced evil spirits were after him.
Mm-hmm.
And he thought that because he was a Sagittarius, that he was also a Centaur. Are you seeing where my title came from on this one?
Yeah. Okay. Cannibal, werewolf, centaur.
Yeah. We haven't even gotten to the werewolf part yet. His sister later told investigators that Austin had recently expressed that he had powers, was immortal, and was a half horse-like centaur. So he's told other people this. She did say that Austin made her feel uneasy because he was becoming a different person, and she started locking her bedroom door at night when he was over there.
Okay.
He began to research what all the strengths and weaknesses of being a centaur were. And then he flushed all of his drugs down the toilet because he was concerned about purity.
Okay. So he was studying the weaknesses. What did he go get a monster manual? Is that where you study the weaknesses and the...
Maybe.
Okay.
He also began telling his family that he had to guard them from an evil presence in the house that he felt. So he would wander at night thinking he was guarding them from something.
Okay.
His Google history began to show signs that he was searching for help, though.
Yeah.
I have many here. I'm going to get ready. I've got a list here of what they found in his search history. The pursuit of happiness. Why aren't we happier? Is overthinking good or harmful? Is overthinking a bad thing to a human person?
Uh-huh.
Why is it okay to overthink things? I'm going crazy. Depression, generalized anxiety, panic, and bipolar disorder. I think I'm going crazy. Am I? Schizophrenia.
Mm-hmm.
Auditory hallucinations when I'm falling asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Stress management.
Mm-hmm.
How to relax my mind. Exploding head syndrome. Satan. What exactly is hell? And the Thanksgiving Day Massacre.
Oh, wow.
This was a multiple murder in 2019 in Jupiter, Florida, where Paul Michael Mearhidge shot and killed 4 family members and 3 others.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, his Google search history is...
Yeah.
I mean,
I have exploding head syndrome, right?
No.
Yeah.
Explain that one to me a little bit.
Okay, so what it is, it's an auditory... I want to say it's auditory hallucination, but it happens at the moment where you're falling asleep, and basically you hear an explosion, and it usually makes you jump up.
Well, the whole
honestly, it sounds like it would harm your ears, but it's not a real sound. It's the part of your brain that processes auditory information. It's being affected just as you're going into REM sleep. So.
Well, and I've heard that whole jumping thing is very common for people, that a lot of people right before they fall asleep almost dream something that startles them, makes them jump. And from things I've read, that allows your body to completely relax. Yeah. And so,
after it's over, you sleep great.
Yeah.
But I've also heard that it's not uncommon for left-handed people either. So that's probably why I have it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've had it most of my life. I did not know what it was called until a few years ago, though.
Right. Well, and his Google history really shows that he realizes there's something wrong in his head.
Well, he looks for schizophrenia. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah. On August 14th, he went to a gun show with his dad's girlfriend, and his friend Sam, where he bought a knife for protection.
From the monsters.
4 days before the murder we talked about at the beginning, he released a video saying he didn't want to believe or follow anyone else anymore. He just wanted to believe in himself. During this week, he sent a number of texts to Katie. And I've got these texts in here because this really shows maybe a bipolar, maybe a schizophrenia. So here's the first one. I've never felt better. I'm honestly I am honestly the happiest I've ever been. It feels great. I believe in myself, and I don't care about anything possibly bad that can happen to me. Next text. I think I'm legit crazy. It's like I can hardly sleep. Next. I know it's hard to understand, and it's even harder for me to realize what I am doing, but I am literally making the impossible happen. Next text. I don't think I'm going crazy. I'm just evolving. I'm becoming more intelligent, thinking that I am worthy and just have to help others with the pain that they have. That's all I want. Next text. Bitch. Next text. Just kidding, babe.
Yeah, that's a schizophreniac.
Yeah, I would think so, because he's all over the place.
Or schizophrenic.
Okay, now here's our next transformation.
Okay.
On August 15th, Austin got up early and decided to put on a Michael Vick Atlanta Falcons jersey that day. He chose it because he thought he was half dog and it would make him stronger.
Half dog?
Half dog.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
This is where the werewolf comes in.
Apparently. He later said he believed the dog spirits told him to put it on, and in doing so, he felt invincible.
Okay.
He then went to a beach where it was reported that he ran like an animal.
Okay.
And then he ended up at his father's house where he had left his car, and his father refused to give him the keys unless he took his Xanax. So apparently Austin was taking Xanax by this point.
Okay.
Austin then began jumping up and down on the hood and roof of his dad's car until his dad handed over the keys. So he threw himself a little fit. He then went to a fraternity brother's house where they were all drinking and smoking pot, but they said that Austin did not partake. He did, however, reportedly began to report feeling godlike.
Okay.
Later that day, he ended up going to dinner at a restaurant called Duffy's with his dad's girlfriend, and his friend Sam, but he stormed out after saying he felt trapped. Austin said he felt at the time, it felt as if time was standing still and he was the Grim Reaper. From there, he walked to his mother's house and said he was thirsty. And so, what do you drink when you're thirsty? I'm just going to pull the room here a little bit.
Water, unsweet tea,
William,
juice, maybe.
Water for you? Oh, outstanding. Yeah. Austin drank cooking oil to quench his thirst.
Okay.
And then his mother took him back to the restaurant. I'm sorry. What? Really?
Wait, she saw him drink cooking oil?
That's how I've got it. And then took him back to the restaurant.
Oh,
so I don't know if she just said, okay, you're being weird, kid.
I realize I'm about to say something real inflammatory.
All right.
But as a parent, realizing that he is now an adult, he's not a child, as a parent, the hell is wrong with her?
I know. Not victim shaming.
Not victim shaming.
But I agree with you. If you see your son drinking cooking oil, why did you
Especially
let him
with
out
all
of
this
your
other
sight?
stuff going on. So I guarantee you knew something was going on.
Well, apparently the family did, because he talked about the fact that he felt he needed to protect him. The sister knew something. I guarantee the sister said something to the mother.
Uh-huh.
I'll damn near guarantee
Hey, maybe
it.
we need to see if we can't get him to talk to somebody.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But she did. She took him to the restaurant, to which he stormed out again after he nearly punched his dad. And then he went running to follow the stars. While out running, he said he encountered an evil figure. It was a dark figure with a white face. And then he fled screaming and ran towards a lit garage asking for help at approximately 9 p.m. This was John and Lori's garage. The next thing he said he remembers was a woman screaming at him. He thought she was a witch, so he pulled out the knife that he had bought at the gun show the day before. He also grabbed a machete that was in the garage and began using them on John and Michelle.
Okay.
The neighbor, Jeff, that we had talked about earlier, Jeff Fisher, hi Glenn, heard the screaming, ran to the garage, where, as I said earlier, he was confronted by Austin, who stabbed him multiple times before Jeff could escape. The next thing that Jeff remembers is waking up in the hospital.
Okay.
Jeff had wounds to his lower back, internal bleeding, broken fingers, and cuts to his head.
Oh, wow.
John and Michelle were declared dead at the scene. I don't think I need to retell how the police found the scene. I can if you want to. But
No. I think that vignette is already set.
Okay. About 2 hours later, around 9 p.m., 911 received a call from Austin's mother, and she called telling them that Austin had taken off and she was concerned for his safety.
Okay.
At least she's done that now. She said that he was acting a little strange or a little delusional. You think? She stated this was a recent change that they were noticing, and she reported when Austin took off from the restaurant, he told his father he felt immortal, and like a superhero.
Okay.
After Austin's arrest, they did test his blood. He had no drugs in his system.
Nothing.
He did test positive for alcohol and trace amounts of marijuana.
Yeah, but that's not going to make you do that.
Nope. 6 days before the attack, though, Austin had asked an unknown person for drugs over text. Austin said, "I don't need weed anymore, but are the shrooms good?" The person said, "Yeah, they're golden teacher, properly dried and cured." Austin said, "How much would it take? How much would it take my to trip, but not too bad?" The person said, "They gave my friend solid material visuals and put him close to the edge of uncomfortable." Austin said, "Sweet, I'll take it." Authorities did not test for psilocybin.
Okay.
And that was because the FBI does not have a validated method to test for the substance.
Yeah.
The FBI also noted that psilocybin can leave a user's system in about 12 hours, and Austin was not tested until 12 hours after the attack.
Okay.
So he could have been high on shrooms.
Yeah.
When this happened.
Yeah, but hi, you know what? It sounds like he's. I know that they are testing. They are testing small amount. They call it microdosing.
Mm-hmm.
Very small amounts of psychedelics to cure schizophrenia.
Mm-hmm.
It's in early stages. It is distinctly possible that he could, without even knowing it, he's trying to self-medicate.
Possible.
And again, that's me as an armchair scientist, and I'm not.
Sure.
But it really sounds like the kid is schizophrenic.
I would agree. I would agree.
That he's out, at least some part of him is seeking to make his brain better.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't disagree. They did take Austin to the St. Mary's Medical Center so he could get treated for his own injuries.
Uh-huh.
He was fighting in his restraints, and so they had to sedate him.
Uh-huh.
He had cuts on his hands, and his tongue was nearly hacked off. His internal injuries were worse. At some point during the attack, he drank some kind of liquid he found in the garage. He would later say it was alcohol, but they think it was more likely bleach as he had burns in his throat and his stomach.
And he's nearly cut his tongue off.
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow.
And this did cause, again, internal bleeding, and he experienced organ failure for a time.
Wow.
On September 7th, 2016, he was interviewed on the Dr. Phil show. Austin said, I have some memory of what happened, but I don't remember how we gotten into the altercation or into the fitting. I don't remember. And then Dr. Phil said, "Do you remember her husband coming out?" And Austin said, "Yeah." And Dr. Phil said, "Do you remember what he said?" And Austin said, "No, I really, really don't have words to explain how I feel. It's like a nightmare." Dr. Phil asked, "Is it hard for you to imagine what you did to these two people?" And Austin replied, "Yeah, I'm sorry for their loss, and I hope you can find it in your heart to forgive me. And I'm sorry I never wanted this to happen. I'm so sorry. It's like a nightmare." And then he began crying and sobbing. I didn't buy this crying for a second.
Really?
I'm sorry. I didn't. You're more than welcome to go out and watch the video for yourself. I felt it. I just didn't buy it.
Okay.
I thought it was, I mean, I could be wrong. I'm just that old curmudgeon, but we'll see. On October 3rd, 2016, he was released from the hospital and booked into the Martin County Jail. He was charged with 2 counts of murder and 1 count of attempted murder. Mm-hmm. Austin was diagnosed with schizophrenia, in particular with clinical lycanthropy, delusions, or werewolf syndrome. So, lycanthropy is an uncommon form of delusion or unusual belief that one is transformed into a non-human animal or displays behavior or feelings indicative of such a belief. It is a rare variant of delusional misidentification syndrome, specifically reverse intermetamorphosis, where the patients believe they are experiencing transformation or have transformed into an animal. DMS is seen in association with several neuropsychiatric conditions, including primary psychotic and affective conditions, drug intoxication and withdrawal, cerebrovascular disease, traumatic brain injury, dementia, delirium, and seizures.
Okay.
So that's what they diagnosed him with. In November of 2016, after news of Austin saying he ate humans made international headlines, PETA, those wonderful people, sent a letter to Martin County Sheriff's Office asking that Austin be put on a vegan diet while in jail. Sometimes PETA is just a little too out there. Yeah. On November 23rd, court documents released by the 19th Judicial Circuit State Attorney's Office released hundreds of pages of court documents. The police did release the FBI toxicology report showing there were no designer drugs in Austin's system and only trace amounts of marijuana. Some are saying now that they believe Austin was taking Flocka. Do you know this?
I have no idea what Flocka is.
So I had to read that as well. This dangerous class of drugs gets its kick from man-made compounds chemically related to cathinone, a derivative of the cat shrub, Khat.
Cat.
For thousands of years, people have chewed this shrub's leaves for their psychoactive effects in the plant's native North Africa and Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
So this is a designer drug.
Made out of gat.
Yeah.
Or made to be like a gat. Okay. It's still very popular in the Muslim world. Dudes will get together and chew gat. Well, they don't drink, so.
They also...
Makes your teeth fall out, though.
Right. Oh, yeah. They did also release a document where friends and family said within hours of the attack, Austin said he was trying to test his powers and that he had become almost immortal.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
On February 28th, 2017, the court released 22 minutes of the Dr. Phil interview. John Stevens IV, that was John Stephen III's son, told the Post that he did not believe Austin's crocodile tears from the interview. The full episode was aired on TV on March 2nd, 2017. I'm with this guy.
Yeah.
I'm with him that I thought it was crocodile tears. I really did. On December 5th, 2017, Austin's attorneys file a notice of intent to use the insanity defense.
I think that's probably a good idea.
Both the defense and the prosecution had Austin examined by psychologists. Dr. Philip Resnick said, in summary, it is my opinion with reasonable medical certainty that on August 15th, 2016, Mr. Austin Harrouff, as a result of a severe mental disease, did not know that his conduct was wrong. Dr. Gregory Landrum said, it should be understood that with the manifestation of Mr. Harrouff's psychiatric illness resulted in a psychotic episode so acute that 2 innocent people were killed and another near fatally wounded. Such an event is highly unusual as people with mental illness are no more likely to commit violent crimes than ordinary members of the public. Research, however, has shown that violence risk is increased in individuals with a bipolar disorder who also engage in substance abuse. It is also known that when violence does occur, it has often involved family members. Mr. Harrouff was not found with illicit drugs in his system at the time of the event, and victims were unknown to him. Dr. Landrum also did say that Austin met the criteria for legal insanity.
So both the prosecution and the defense are like, yeah, no, he's nuts.
Yep. On August 7th, 2018, Michelle's family filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Austin.
Okay.
On February 6, 2019, a trial date of November 2019 was set, but due to multiple appeals to declare Austin insane, there has been no court date and appeals are ongoing today.
Yeah.
So, and like I said, we're once again discussing a case where mental illness or suspected mental illness went untreated.
Yeah.
His family and friends even admit that they saw the unusual behavior and they chose to do nothing about it. It's that whole thing. Hear something, see something, say something.
Yeah. See something, say something.
See something, say something. That's what it is. His father was asked by police if Austin had been seeing a mental health professional or taking any kind of medications, but to which he said no, but Austin was taking Xanax, so I didn't quite understand that. This was obviously a troubled kid. It really was. And whether it was due to drugs or a psychotic disorder, someone should have done something.
Yes.
Too many people said later that they noticed the strange change in his behavior.
Yeah.
Way too many people said it later. If you suspect someone is just really, if someone, their behavior is so polar opposite of what you know them as, you've got to care about enough of them to say something.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about it. We talked about it before. I'm seeing professional. I'm seeing I'm about to see a psychiatrist. I'm not yet. I'm about to. But, I'm on anxiety meds. Without those anxiety meds, there's a very definitive difference in me. And it's how I can handle things. I'm not violent or anything.
No.
But I do notice that when I forget to take my midday meds are the ones I forget the most. When I forget to take them, I'm a lot more on the edge, and I feel this pressure just boring into me. There's this ultimate pressure just squeezing me, and so I've got to have help for that. And you've got to say something. I was so scared to say something myself. This anxiety was overtaking me. I said before that this. I guess we're on 19 months of the pandemic now, has done a lot for my stress and done a lot for my anxiety. And it's just, you've got to say something if there's somebody. There are resources that are out there, to our listeners. If you know someone that is in need of mental health, please, please, please reach out to someone. There is a mental health helpline that you can call at 1-800-662-HELP. That's 1-800-662-4951. Don't wait until it's too late.
Yeah.
So there's my message for the day, and there's the story of Austin Harrouff.
Well, thank you for the information. Thank you for the story. I realize we kind of giggled about it at the beginning, but it's
well, the title. I mean, when you go through it, I mean, he did go through many different things, and I mean, there was as you watch the video at the front, there's a lot of very silly things he's doing, and so I'm not giggling about him. There's some things in here that are kind of giggle worthy. He wants to become a rapper, and
Frosty.
If you see it, Frosty. So not laughing at him by any means. I mean, this is somebody that I think does need help. But when I said I think crocodile tears, it's possible that when he gave the Dr. Phil interview, he was having one of his episodes, and so who knows? But this is another one. I do feel sorry for this kid.
Yeah.
It's not like Rod Farrell, where he just needed a hug. He needed his family to step up and say,
because it doesn't sound like he was capable of seeking the help himself.
Yeah, I don't think
it sounds
so.
like he started to, and then
he started reaching out and he started saying things, but somebody probably needed to push him in that direction of getting some extra help. So. So that's it for my side this week.
Well, thank you, sir.
Thanks for the Christmas episode, and I'm glad I got to ruin Christmas by telling you about a cannibal centaur werewolf.
They were okay,
kid. So
maybe we should have done that one for Halloween.
I was ruining the dark of going on the dark side of things.
It's all right. I think it's good. We gotta have some light with the dark.
So that'll take us to the end of this week. As always, you can find us on our webpage at nerderyandmurdery.com. From there, you can find the links to our social media as well as our contact info. So if you want to reach out to us, let us know if there's something you want to hear, as we have covered listener episodes, things that people have asked for.
And all the links that go out per episode, too.
Absolutely.
Episode-specific links. If you want
check out the links. We've got some we've got some listeners who have told me that they always look at the links and like to see where we go for that, because we put the pictures out as well. You can find our merchandise on our page. So again, go show your fandom with Nerdery and Murdery and get your Nerdery and Murdery logo stuff. You can find our Patreon where, hey, you know what? It's Christmas. All I want for Christmas is some new patrons. Some new patrons. Some new patrons.
We're idiots. Please, if you want to continue, if you would like to help us, please do consider becoming a patron. We appreciate all of our patrons that are out there. It really helps us along. Don't forget,
thank you.
Please and thank you. Don't forget to rate us wherever you can. Specifically, you've got iTunes and Google Podcasts that you can put ratings on. Please do rate and review us. Those really, really do help us get ourselves more available for people who are looking for our content. But that's really about it. So with that,
I have been Zig with your nerdery.
And I'm Geoffrey with your murdery. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Cue the music.